Good evening, Madam President and members of council.
Good evening.
Today, it's my honor to present this resolution to Devon Hynson, and I'm going to read it, and then I'll also have some remarks. Whereas Wilmington City Council is appreciative of professionals who strive to enhance the quality of education for Wilmington students and their families. And whereas this legislative body recognizes Wilmington resident Devon Hynson for his tireless service advocating for due process, fairness, justice, and equity for Wilmington students and their families under circumstances in which the odds are heavily stacked against them. And whereas, over the years, in the long tradition established in this community, Devon has proven himself as an exceptional, quote, educational advocate in connection with due process hearings in the fields of special education and discipline. This candid, determined, and energetic man works until he gets the job done. And whereas Devon works with educational administrators and teachers throughout Delaware as part of a team effort to protect the educational rights of children with disabilities guaranteed by the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. And whereas Devon possesses a myriad of leadership experiences, paid and as a volunteer, with organizations that focus on youth development and learning. More recently, Devon has further distinguished himself as the executive director of Education Voices, Inc., a full-service advocacy and support organization that assists parents with obtaining education-related services for their children. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that Wilmington City Council commends Devon Hynson for his extraordinary effectiveness as an advocate on behalf of Wilmington's children and their families in the field of education and in the community. We're going to each have a few remarks. Devon, if you'd like to go first. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Councilman Guy for presenting the resolution. A lot of times I see people are recognized once they're gone, and it's just an honor for me to be recognized for the work that I do while I'm still alive. I wanted to also thank anybody that supported the work that I do, right? I don't expect people to support me. I'm a controversial individual. You know, I go into schools and I have to be a little bit contentious. So I do want to say thank you to anybody who supports the work that we do. I did want to ask a question. Do y'all vote on this? Like, this is something that, so everybody voted on it, so I thank you all for voting. Thank you. I want to thank Councilman Gregory, too, for having a vision to put this in place and to allow me to be the director of the organization that we created.
Thank you, Councilman Guy. I'm going to be brief, straightforward, and to the point. I had a lot to do with training him. 43 years in the arena. He's been either working or volunteering for at least the last 9. And as I do what I do with young people, what I love is when the pupil exceeds the standards and what the mentor does. As it relates to special education, he's done that. Nobody, in my opinion, knows special education rules, regulations, and procedures better than Devon Hynson, and children have benefited from it immensely. His persistence, case we had in 2008, and I just wasn't going to take the case because it was a public nightmare, and he insisted, he persisted, and not only did we get the kid back in school, but because of the way that the situation was mishandled, one of the school districts finally had to realize that they had to make a major change in leadership. So he's having an impact. He's had an impact. And if you look at the letter I sent you, where it's crystal clear that half the suspensions in this state, half the kids in special education in this state attend the 4 northern school districts in Newcastle County, where our children attend, you got a lot of work to do. And for the last 3 to 4 years, my phone rings. We get calls all the time. I don't do school cases anymore. Call Devon Hynson. And with the exception of cases out of the county, he's handled most of those cases. So I, for one, appreciate you carrying the load and carrying the burden, and commend you for what you've done.
And as we wrap up, Devon made some kind of remark that kind of indicated that he understands or feels that maybe people don't support him. And your city council before this one had you in a position to protect our children, because we're unable to protect our children. There's educational organizations that provide educational services, but when their special ed needs and discipline needs aren't met, that's when everybody would send people to see you. So you were the guy between our kids quite often getting slaughtered or staying alive. And this council just voted to appreciate you. So don't ever feel like you're not appreciated. The media doesn't speak for our community. The haters who got something derogatory to say when they don't know what the heck they're talking about. I'm a certified teacher, a civil rights leader, and an attorney. And what I know, what you do is technical. And if it was something easy to do, there'd be a whole bunch of people doing it. Okay? So, thank you so much. Appreciate everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody.